Hello, gorgeous human beings. You are back. We are back. Thank you for listening and watching to the podcast. This is the podcast From Broke to Woke. And in this particular episode, we'll be discussing a little bit about the leap for me, my journey, my company, Real Life Trading, and how it became more focused and more centered on the giving, the enrichment, and focusing on the lives and the impact of the people that we can really, truly change, and how that has impacted my business.
Jerremy Alexander Newsome.
Yes, ma'am.
We just talked about how I went from having a focus to making money to then take that money and go make a difference to then shifting my company to say, you know what? Our very operations, our approach, the way in which we develop a neighborhood can make the impact that I want to see.
Yes.
So we make a difference in the way we do it.
Yes.
I want to hear how you made that leap.
Okay.
And when did you wake up enough to realize you can do that?
When did I go broke to woke?
You woke. When was your woke?
When was your woke? You know, I appreciate you asking that question. So for me, being fully stock market related,
Yeah.
you know, your real estate specialty, my specialty is stock market. A lot of people, when you're talking about the stock market, two terms that come up: fear and what else?
Faith?
Fear and greed.
Oh,
I like your perspective though, but most people say the stock market is controlled by fear and greed.
yeah.
And it's so rare to come across a breed of human that's in the stock market that's truly not greedy. So when this shift started happening for me is I'm working with my team and we're developing our mission. So pretty early on, the book Start With a Why by Simon Sinek.
Such a good one.
Great book. Simon, if you're listening, I hope you are. You're the man. And we really started going through the missions and trying to find out for me what really helped and what was impactful. And our mission of the company is very simple: to enrich lives.
Love it.
And I wanted to find out why, right? What lives were we impacting? How were we going to be doing it? And one of the things that I started doing was coming up with a theme every month. So the theme of February was Friends Month, January was Extra Income Month, and March was Kids Month. And so what I started doing is, as a company, what we started doing was kind of going to schools and teaching children this information and started to create content and videos. And as we were doing it, I was thinking to myself, well, this can't be for a cost. It's going to have to be free. So we started making tons and tons of free content, loads and loads of content, absolutely without zero cost and no sales pitch. And I was very upfront about it. I was saying, hey, I'm taking all of this time, all my knowledge, all my education, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to share it with you with no sales pitch. I just want you in on this. I want you to learn it. I want you to understand it. And going to a school and sitting there and talking and being in front of these children and showing them stocks and showing them charts and talking about investing and getting their questions, that was igniting a real passion. A passion to help and really guide communities and people and families towards financial freedom because they didn't think it was possible.
That's huge.
Exactly. And having the ability to know that the stock market is so immediate for people.
Yeah.
Right? You can do it from your phone now. Showing people that you can just boop, 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 and you can make an extra $10 a day or a week or a month, whatever is valuable for you. That's massive impact. That's
huge.
Immediate change.
Sometimes it's more than $10.
Exactly. And for a lot of my counterparts telling me that was an entirely bad business decision. You can't make money with free, Jerremy.
Right.
Like, you can't grow by giving.
Right.
You should not go down this path. I mean, mentors, business advisors, people tell me it was a terrible decision. Don't give away your content for free. Build funnels, focus on sales. I was like, well, what if I just eat rice and beans for a while? Don't worry about the business, and I'm just there to pour into people. It's got to work out. And slowly started doing
That's
it.
a confident thing that most people would never think.
Yeah.
If I just eat rice and beans and I just pour into people,
Yep.
it's got to work out.
It's got to.
I would put you against most and say that's not normally the formula to success in most
Right.
people's minds.
Right.
How did it work out for you?
Well, what started happening is we started getting public platforms where people would reach out, companies would reach out, newspapers, magazines, people on the internet We had one magazine called Darling Magazine, which is a magazine focused on women's health and women's information. And all their models they don't do Photoshop. That's kind of like one of their mission statements.
Nice.
But a lot of them people started reaching out going like, okay, why are you doing this, number one? And number two, why are you doing this? Because it's the stock market. There's supposed to be some type of scheme. There's supposed to be some type of back end. Like, you got to get me somewhere in this. And it just wasn't ever happening. And as more people started noticing and more people started asking, more people started stepping up, asking and offering their assistance. And that's what blew me away.
Wow.
When realizing that I was not the only person that had the skills and had the knowledge of the stock market, I wasn't the only person in the world that wanted to give this away and wanted to help and wanted to share wisdom for free. Once I realized that there's a lot of other really wealthy people, really knowledgeable people that also wanted to do this, we started creating one of the fastest growing websites on the internet.
Wow.
And especially for this particular industry, we started developing a customer service score and a rating and just a better business bureau sense of this company's legitimate and the information's legitimate, and people start posting testimonials. I'm paying off my debts. I'm using the stock market to grow this. I'm a 67-year-old lady who lives in Vancouver, Canada, who is paying off all of my mortgages, and
I love that.
I'm helping my grandchildren, and I'm building houses, and I'm investing, and just their whole lives are changing from the stock market.
Oh, wow.
That was incredible.
Chills everywhere.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And so that's kind of what started happening is you just get droves and droves of people started showing up saying, hey, I want to do this too. I can do this too. I can start helping. And I started getting more and more offers for more and more people helping. And I just built a phenomenal team of volunteers and assistants. And then they became contractors. And then they became people that I did pay. And in order to pay them, we figured out, how do we make money off of this?
Right.
Right. And that became a question of like, let's figure this out.
I think that's a good question. I'd love your help answering, because when you're providing something for free, it sounds really amazing.
Yep.
But most of the time, the people who work for you are not volunteers.
Yes.
So these bigwig, other, network that you've got coming in to help sounds cool. But without you making enough money to pay your non-volunteer staff, how do you advise people do that?
I like that question a lot, actually. And number one, I would have to say, you got to realize that people are willing to pay for something. So take that as initiative, because there are radio hosts and TV personalities and sports athletes that are going to donate their time and their generosity and their knowledge and their wisdom. But at some point, you have to realize it is absolutely okay to ask for things, because people do value time and knowledge and education, and they're okay to pay for things. So you, in that sense, for that question, you develop some type of product or experience or idea or gift or belief or path or direction or course that can be very beneficial for your target audience, for that perfect customer, for the person that you know is going to benefit the most from it, and be okay with that. So for me, what that looked like was a lot of people were learning about the markets, but they wanted to do it more actively.
Right.
What fell on my shoulders was, hey, I'm a 67-year-old lady who's retired. I have some money, and I have all this time. What do I do with it? And so I realized that people wanted to be in a community, right, where they could trade and hang out and spend time with other like-minded people. And so I ended up developing that. I developed a community and a spot and a platform where you could have people from all over the world with similar mindsets and beliefs and goals and aspirations meet. And that was a service, a subscription that people would pay for.
Very cool.
Just to do that monthly, where it's like, hey, there's obviously costs associated with these pieces. Let's build a community together, and let's create a simple subscription service, a monthly recurring revenue type of situation. And I will be there. And we'll all kind of help and guide and direct and talk together and trade the markets every single day.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm sure you go above and beyond and create more value than it costs them.
Yeah.
But I've found, and maybe you found this too, as much as I've given away for free, when it actually costs people something, they start applying it.
Yes.
They pay attention.
Yes.
It's really weird, because I'd love to do so much more for free, but it hasn't always even served the person I'm trying to help.
Correct.
Have you seen that to be true in your case?
Definitely, without
Why
question.
do you think that is?
You know, I simply think because it's not that they don't value it, but it's the value of reciprocity. If you are given something that you do not deem to be valuable because you haven't personally spent any resources to acquire that thing, then you won't know its value because you took advantage of it in a sense, right? You just took it and now you have it. And there was no time or effort or energy or monetary value put in. So on the flip side of that, when you actually spend something that you had to work for, generally money, and you go, okay, I'm taking a piece of my net worth and I'm using that to acquire this thing. Now you're invested. Now you're in it. Now you care. Now your brain is linked. Because people oftentimes will link that money exchange to value.
Wow.
And I think that it will help people. And it doesn't matter how much it is. Sometimes it could be
Right.
$1, sometimes it could be $100. It could be a smaller amount of money.
It's almost like a interesting exchange.
Yeah.
They have to give something.
Well, for the free thing, a lot of times, and I don't know if this is my term or not, but I use the term freemium because you have these free concepts where it gets people in the door, but it also helps pull away the blinders of saying, there's actually legitimate people out there that want to help you.
Right.
And here's some very valuable, extremely useful tips and tricks and ideas and concepts that you can use right now for free. Here you go. And then if you enjoy this, if you like this, if you're in a position where you want or you should or you can benefit from higher learning, then this is how much it costs.
Wow.
And then they can really use and understand that value there now has a purpose and has a tool, and they can associate it with that value, and they can be a part of it, and they can invest in it. And they feel like they're a part of something when they do that.
I love your story, and I love that how you made the leap. We just created this like a filter process in G-Force, and it's start with your inner purpose. You know, your inner purpose is the gift inside of you that nobody else has, and it's your responsibility to give it away. And your outer purpose can change because it's the way in which you decide to give it away.
Yeah.
And then when you give it away, it ends up, you know, if you choose to give it away through your company and your mission, which you have, it then attracts an even greater network, which then expands your impact of your inner purpose. So I love that because we've just started going through this, and how do you actually take that and walk it all the way out? So I'm probably going to use you as an example sometime.
Bring it on.
So good.
Yeah, bring it
so
on.
good. You're living it. Were you confident that this would work?
You know, it's actually ironic. I was the entire time.
Really?
The entire time. Even though I would not be confident in this vessel.
Yes.
Right? That was the part that was insecure. But the idea, the outward idea, because it's not mine, right? The value, the ladder of if you give something away or you help someone, you really pour into the world, it will be given back to you even more so.
You understood that truth without having a lot of proof. Same thing. I think in my heart, I knew it would work, but I couldn't actually tell you on a pro forma how.
The pro forma, I'm not sure, but yeah.
I can't actually tell you where it's going to show up for the ROI, and I would battle with different leadership to say, like, I am not sure. And they're just like, mystical woman. You know, you're just woo-wooing this to, like, you know, I'm a very faith-driven person, and it's hard to explain to your team why this principle will work.
Yeah.
But after 10 years, there's this guy that's still on my team, and he's like, you know, I don't ask anymore. I just know it will. We don't have to know how. But it must be some universal law that when you give, it will come back.
And it is.
And you have to give without having to see your desired result. That's real giving.
That's the scary part, too.
Yeah.
That's the scary part. Because if you really, really give and you're not specifically worried or frustrated or scared about it coming back to you, then it will. So that mission, that's absolutely, I fully agree. And that's a big, big proponent of this, not only podcast, but discussion, but also our lives, and something that we want to make sure we share. It's start with the vision and then just kind of work backwards. Okay, you want to do this. There's a way to get paid to do it. There's a way that the money literally grows on trees. It is there for you. Don't worry about the money. The money will figure itself out. Everyone has plenty of money. Money is everywhere. So the purpose behind why you're doing it is going to have to be greater than all of the obstacles and the frustrations and the pain. And if it is, you will conquer your goal.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think this has been a phenomenal discussion. Yeah. Again, it's been great sharing a lot of time with you.
Wow.
The good news is we have so much more coming. So we're going to be starting to discuss big picture stuff like where we are now.
Yeah.
We're going to start discussing like how do we manage our time. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, if you have all these businesses, you still have 24 hours a day, I think.
24 hours, 5 businesses, international, 2 nonprofits.
Yeah.
And we're both staying ripped.
Yeah.
How do we do it?
How does Brittany stay so jacked?
How does Jerremy turn his life literally into Forrest Gump? You will find out in the upcoming episode.
I love it. Stay tuned.
Thank you for watching From Broke to Woke with Brittany Turner and Jerremy Alexander Newsome. We have loved this journey with you. We want to help you go from broke to woke, understanding your purpose in life and really walking in the fullness of your potential. If you want to connect with us more, go to gforcemastermind.com. You can come on vacations with us. You can connect with us as people. You can find more resources for learning. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, go to gforcemastermind. We'll see you there.